Welcome to the Ai23 Podcast, the coolest place on the internet when it comes to AI information and news. Today we have a special episode. We got Hector the Connector, our man at MBN Creative, the co-host, the man, the legend has created something that we have not seen before. He resurrected Frank Sinatra for the holidays, and we're super excited to see how he did it and why he did it. And we'll see whether Google's Gemini is lying to us or the Google product is actually lying. So Natalie, are you excited to see and hear what Mr. Hector the Connector has done?
Oh my gosh, yes I am. So let me first tell you guys what Hector did. So of course, being the AI visionary he is, he put together a creative, beyond creative holiday card to send out for his company, MBN Creative, to their clientele. And this card not only looks incredible, like a 3D like Christmas package popping out of the page, but he included a amazing QR code. It looks super cool, but it has a couple of features that are really unique. One is he resurrected Frank Sinatra and created this like old-timey radio song, and he changed the lyrics to a song to be AI and MBN Creative related. And then he's also got some animations with it. So did I miss anything, Hector?
No, I don't think so. I mean, we just we wanted to create a unique user experience, and we wanted to be different. You know, if you look at holiday cards, they all kind of look the same. And I'm like, you know, when I was thinking about this, I was like, how can I be different than every other card? And at first I thought, let me just have a QR code and nothing else, maybe some antlers, you know, and that's it. But I want to make sure that every single person that gets this card actually clicks on it and has that experience. So that was the genesis
really
of it.
Cool.
So
you know what? I'm going to share what the inspiration that you sketched and what you guys came up with, because it's really, really neat. And also, this is a really important thing about marketing. You know, try to think outside the box. And today with AI, the stuff that you can do is hands down revolutionary. So just to share what you did, I'm gonna.
And what's the timeline, Hector? When was this? How did it go from idea to concept, like created concept?
Yeah, well, always toward the end of the year, I'm always thinking, how can we outdo what we did last year? And we did those fortune boxes last year that were tactile. So I'm, you know, looking around and going, okay. So I saw probably 10 days ago, 8, 9, 10 days ago, I was like, okay, we're doing a QR code. I looked at all these boring Christmas cards and what we've done in the past. I'm like, no, we're gonna do something different. QR code. We wanted to make sure they click on it, so we put the musical notes around there, to give you an idea, to prompt you to go, oh, I better click on this. Maybe there's some music here. And we originally were just going to do music, and then I started thinking, I'm like, no, we're using all these AI tools. We have a little gap in time, some excess time. Let's rock this. Let's go full blown on this thing. And that's where we started.
You went full blown for sure. You went over
cool.
the top.
So yeah, as you can see, we have your sketch that you did.
So you sketched that out like 10 days ago.
Yeah, less than that. I think I sketched it out like 5 days ago.
Wow.
Bam. That's what it looks like. Did you use AI to create this?
Yes, the whole package, the whole thing is AI. And then we used, software to create the QR code. And we wanted a little fancy, put the tree in there. And that's kind of what we did.
Insane. And you were telling us that you used like 11 different tools.
Yes.
It ended up being 11 different tools to create this.
Yes. And the experience starts with kind of like our business cards, it has that soft touch and that raised UV, that high shine. That's what this is going to be. It's just going to be a card, one-sided. It's going to be in a very nice envelope, handwritten, human written on the outside. Whoa. And then it's an AI experience on the inside.
That's insane. And so tell us more about, I'm so curious how you went from idea to completely making this. Like, I know I've seen behind the scenes of your journey, and we want to share that with the audience. So
sure.
Like, what was the first thing you did?
The first thing was I sketched like 5 or 6 concepts, and I brought it to the team like, hey, what do you guys think? And what's because we don't have a lot of time, how can we execute this quickly and without spending a ton of time? And so we all kind of decided, hey, this is the one. It's just going to be a package, QR code. Let's rock this. So we just started going into that. And we had to send this to print like 5 days ago. So we had to like one day, boom, let's get this done. And we're going to get cards like Monday or Tuesday, and then all those are going out. So it was kind of started with the idea that the QR code was going to have some functionality. We didn't know what the functionality was going to be yet. We had to get those cards printed, off to press, and then we'll worry about the functionality.
Okay,
So,
and something else that we didn't even tell everybody yet is you ran a batch of cards with the same QR code, and then you created a handful that are unique QR codes.
yes.
And those are going to go out. Tell us about that.
Yeah. So we're we actually printed separate QR codes that we're going to trim out, and we're going to place over the printed QR code that's on the physical card. And we've assigned 1 through 30. So 30 special clients and friends are going to get a personalized message, because through 11 Labs, we're going to change the lyrics to, let's say, hey, in Frank Sinatra's voice, hey, Mike and Molinex, I want to I want to send a special holiday message to you and your beautiful family in Texas, wishing you all the best for the holidays. Something like that. That's personal, because I want the reaction. How the heck did he do this? How did he do that?
Yeah. And it's also that personalization, man. That is, I think, key in marketing today is, can you personalize? And with AI, you can. What you're doing is you're gonna be stuck in their mind. They're gonna be thinking about you, and they're probably gonna share that same QR code to other friends. They're gonna take a picture of it. They're like, you gotta scan this. Check this out.
Yes, I would bring that to like my Christmas party and be like, everybody needs to scan this. Look at it.
Yeah. And guess what? Then people are gonna be like, who's MBN Creative? If they've never heard of you.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. All right, so now let's go into like the actual making of the song and the actual elements inside when you scan the QR code.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
So I wanted to make it something that was classic. I prefer classy over flashy. And I wanted to use the tools that we have available. And so we've been playing with 11 Labs. I think you've seen some of the stuff we've done, heard some of the stuff. And we thought, hey, let's create something really cool. Who's cool? Who's a crooner from back in the day that we can resurrect? Frank Sinatra, Yeah, and so we were able to, with the use of voices, we could separate vocals from music. And we had to kind of separate because we wanted to use 11 Labs by dropping in some text prompts, and we wanted to come out with a jingle. What was the best jingle we could come out with that was holiday and not necessarily Christmas? We wanted to not offend anybody. Everybody's got a different belief, and the holidays are the holidays. No one can deny that. So we wanted to create something that we could personalize the jingle to and drop in Frank Sinatra's voice, mesh those two, and just make it personal. And then it just kept building from there. And so we started doing Runway.
Real quick, so you use 11 Labs. So we got to go over, because some of the people that are probably going to be listening don't know any of these.
Yeah.
Everyone knows ChatGPT because they're famous.
Yes.
And probably a very few other AI products. So 11 Labs is all about sound and replicating the voice. You can replicate your voice, and obviously you can replicate other people's voices, as you can see.
Yes.
Again, this is good and bad. This is
the good, bad, and the ugly. Like,
yeah, it is, because on a legal aspect, we don't have permission from Frank's estate to do this. So
right.
I think,
yeah,
we don't, like, people are going to be doing things like this. Obviously, you're not making money off of
it's
it.
A parody.
It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
It's a parody.
Yeah.
Which you can do legally.
Yeah.
But it just goes to show you how easy you can replicate a voice.
Yes, with a few seconds. Yeah.
Yep. And then you mentioned Moises.
Yeah. Moises.
That one I've never even heard of.
Yeah.
That one's new to me.
Well, here's the thing. I got my team excited about it, and I said, find out how we can make this happen.
Let's go, baby.
Initially, they were like, no can do. We only have so many tools we're using. And I'm like, nah, come on now. We're getting trained every week for the last 3-4 months. We are deep into this since the last 11 months, just like you guys, right? And that's why we gel so good. But it's like, let's find out what tools are available. So I was searching for tools. My team was searching for tools, and we found Moises. So that separates vocals from music. And, one of my team members, he's been in studio for a long time, probably 15 years. So he knows a lot about how to edit and do all that stuff. So, it's kind of like a fun thing that we're doing here, exploring, we're still learning. We're white belts, you know, we're learning, and
I think everyone is. I mean, honestly, Moises, I never heard of this.
Yeah.
There are new AI companies popping up every day that do unique things. That's separating the voice from the music, the vocals.
Yes, yeah. And
amazing.
Then Voicify. Have you heard of Voicify?
No.
We use that as well. That converts audio to whatever artist. So there's a lot of layers involved in creating this.
Voicify is what makes Frank be Frank? Okay.
Yes.
But you have to use someone else's voice first?
Well, here's the tricky part. We thought we were going to hum a few bars. Actually one of my designers thought, oh, I got this. Let me record. Okay. 3 hours later, I'm like, why don't I give that a try? Yeah, he had like 15 takes, and we used ChatGPT and our own human intelligence to create the jingle and to customize it to include our company name and stuff like that. But we had so many takes, and I'm like, who do I know that can sing? Because I tried it, and I'm like, oh, no, I'm way too nasally to actually be able to hit the notes and sound like we can drop Frank Sinatra on top. It wasn't going to work. So I said...
So real quick, before you move on from here, hold on.
Yeah.
So you have to get someone that actually can sing to hit a certain note, so that way when you put the layer of Frank Sinatra...
Yes.
So you can't just...
It can't be anybody's voice.
I can't sing.
You gotta hit the right music notes, right?
Yes.
Whoa, that's fascinating. Okay.
You have to be able to, with your voice, follow the melody, hit high notes and low notes at the same time.
So that's how these AI works. That's why it's easy to change a song. Let's say you take a rap song and you put Frank Sinatra, which people have been doing, like Gangster's Paradise.
Right.
Yeah.
But the song is already there, so you're just adding Frank's voice on top. That's gonna match the cadence of.
Yes.
Got you.
Because those lyrics exist. Yeah.
And that's what my team wanted. Yeah, that's what my team wanted to do. That's a little bit easier. But I was like, no, we got to make this custom and personalized.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so you use Natalie. She's the
singer. That's right. I'm like, girls got some pipes. Let's
so let's hear Natalie. I want to hear Natalie's voice.
Yeah.
I want to hear you sing, Natalie.
Right.
Give us that.
And we were convinced it was going to work. We're like, no, for sure. Yeah, she's got this.
All right, let's hear it.
Okay.
Although the thought of AI is frightful, the truth is much more delightful. And since we've made it flow, let it grow, let it grow, let it grow. There
you go.
Natalie, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yo, that's okay. So she's a professional.
Yes.
Real quick, sidebar. Natalie, where'd you learn how to sing?
I just grew up singing. Church, I guess. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Amazing voice. That was freaking amazing. Yes. So now you have Natalie's voice. It hits all the right pitches.
Yep.
So now we're going to layer Frank Sinatra's voice on top of hers.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let's see. Let's hear that. Yeah, let's hear that.
Although the thought of AI is frightful, there's much more delightful.
That was frightful.
Make it stop.
So what happened there, Hector? What happened there? Her voice is perfect.
Perfect.
And she hit the notes.
Yes. She hit too high, but she couldn't hold the low notes. She didn't have that
depth. So the Frank Sinatra
voice
has to well, instead of just being his voice, it actually kind of matches the voice that's already there.
Correct. Yes, it's like a
Weird.
blend.
Okay.
It's like a mesh
of blend.
Yeah.
And what system was that again? Which AI?
We used Voicify.
Yeah. Voicify. So that's the one that does that. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So Natalie didn't work. You now have to find a different voice. You obviously can't sing. Your team can't sing.
Right. We tried.
Where did you get a singer? Where'd y'all get a singer?
Actually, a friend of one of my designers, because he's in a rock band. So he's like, dude knows how to sing. Let me call him. And then I called, and I texted Jai, and we're like, okay, who's got a voice that maybe we can use and sync it with Sinatra's? And dude, Alex's buddy, who's in the band, that night sent something over, and Alex sent me this text. He's like, dude, he's perfect. So the next morning,
okay.
Okay, we're ready
Yeah.
for
I
it?
think we should hear it.
Let's hear
Okay,
it.
so we're gonna listen to most of it, right?
Yeah.
Let's try to listen
Yeah.
to most of it.
Sure.
This is amazing. And so, real quick, before we listen to the whole thing, so you've already told us what you did for The Voice.
Yeah.
How we got Frank Sinatra back. You
Yep.
resurrected Frank Sinatra.
Yep.
How did you create the music, the jingle?
We got that. I think we got a stock audio on the jingle. So we meshed a lot of different things. There was like 9 or 10 or 11 different tools that we used. We even used GarageBand to edit. So there was a lot of work went into this in about 3 days.
Yeah, because you've got sound effects, you've got the music, you've got the voices.
Yeah.
All that.
Yeah. And then you created the lyrics with ChatGPT?
Yeah, well, the initial lyrics, but yeah, I edited a lot. We edited and changed and, just edit, actually with every piece of this.
Well, okay, now that's a great point you just made that I think we need to really hammer in. AI is only a tool. It is not going to give you the final product with one prompt. It is something you have to work with. It is just a tool. So everything you just said, we edit. That takes human genius with that AI intelligence and just quickness to do the work.
Yeah.
So AI is not going to replace you. It's going to help you.
Like
you might need less people.
80% of the job, right?
Yeah.
And then you take it across the finish line with the last 20%, the human 20%.
And collecting assets was a big, big piece. Like, what are all these assets that we're going to, that we have to collect to be able to put this together seamlessly? And I was so excited when I heard this last version.
Oh my gosh, it's so good. So should we listen to the whole or most of it?
Let's listen to most
Play
of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Play it, Natalie. Now we got an idea.
All right, here, I think I gotta start it over.
And I think this was like when did you send yours, Natalie? That night?
No, you called me and I literally sat down. I had 7 minutes before my next meeting. And so I just recorded my first take and I sent it to you.
That's right. And it was beautiful. And we're like, all right, yes, we got it. And then it was like, oh no, we don't got it.
That was hilarious.
I know. I was like, I'm so sorry about that.
Hey, you brought it though.
Yeah, I can't sing any lower. I tried.
We're going to have to resurrect a female from the past. Somebody with a magical voice that we can mesh with yours for our next event. Yeah.
That'll be the next holiday.
All right, so let's hear this one.
Right.
Our special holiday broadcast on the MBN network features the music of the AI Orchestra, with special guests joining us all the way from 1949, Mr. Frank Sinatra.
Thank you, Hector. And fans, it's a pleasure to be with you on the MBN network. And today's program is especially important to me because it's the very first year in which I was reimagined by my friends at MBN Creative using tools of the future. So without further ado, here's a little take on an old tune in collaboration with the good folks at MBN Creative.
Although the star of the eye is frightful, truth is much more delightful. And since we've made it slow, let it grow, let it grow, let it grow. And it doesn't show signs of slow. The package designs are flow. The eyes how the dust didn't show. Let it grow, let it grow, let it grow.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yo, that is so cool.
Yeah. So, aside from getting that, then we had to figure out, okay, let's use Midjourney to realize him, right? Frank Sinatra, to bring him to life visually and have him performing and have an audience and have all that stuff and an old-timey radio from back in the day, right? So we incorporated a lot of that stuff, and it was so much
at
fun.
The very end of the podcast, right? We're gonna add the
we'll show the
final product y'all can watch at the very end of this episode.
Yeah,
and then he just mentioned Runway ML. Runway ML is another AI company that helps in video. So they can create movement to video from still images, or they can just create the video themselves, just like another company called InVideo. So there's a lot of AI companies that are doing all these. To me, it's like magical now. Like this is work that would take hours and days and different manpower to mere minutes or
like this
seconds.
wasn't even possible. I mean, I guess it's not that it was impossible, say 12 months ago, but impractical, too
Impractical
expensive,
for
too
sure.
much,
Yeah.
on earth,
Yeah.
right?
It's just insane. We have so much power within our hands now, and to do the right thing. So, and create good examples for others, and so others can follow. And it's cool.
It's interesting. I think so. I was obsessed, and I still am, with the Apollo moon missions as a kid. And I remember, do you remember having like a T9 calculator, when you were in calculus class or whatever? I remember someone saying that there was more computing power in my like T9 calculator than there was in the computers that took man to the moon. They did so many like calculations by hand and all that. And so the fact that we all have like iPhones and now we have AI, it's just like, it truly is mind-blowing.
It is. And like Mr. Grateful says, today is the worst AI will ever be.
Yeah.
Oh, it's better now. It's better now.
Yeah.
It's better now.
Give me 2 seconds.
It's insane.
But it's crazy. If you think about it, we have so much power, like you said, in our fingertips, from computers to iPhones. They were already so powerful. Now you add AI to it, and it's just overwhelming. If you really think about it, and you haven't really been playing with this intelligence, it's overwhelming. And I can see how some people can be listening going, what?
Yeah.
That's why I think it's important. Just start playing with it. Just start slow. I think ChatGPT is probably the best company out there, and I think it's the best product out there that you could just start getting getting familiar with how AI works.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
100%.
Just start.
One way to keep it really
Just
simple
start.
is to just ask it how it can help you. Like give it, in any area of your life. We talk about live, work, and play. And so if you want to apply that to work, tell it what kind of job you have and ask it how it can help you with that job, right? And just almost as if you're just having a conversation with it, really, right? If you want to do it with how you live, think of something you want to improve in your life. Maybe it's like nutrition or exercise. Ask it, right? Like it's so powerful. I think we're going to have an explosion of creativity because of AI. I mean, look at what you just did. That's like a total explosion of human creativity facilitated by AI.
Yeah. It's like, if you can think it, you can dream it.
Yeah.
There's so much you can make happen. Like, wow. But yeah, my mind is blown. I was talking to a client yesterday. I'm like, dude, your mind is, when you get this thing, because we're doing videos in AI, 100% video in AI for QR codes for consumer packaged goods. And they are loving it. I mean, some of the big box stores are like, dude, where'd you get that? We want to use that. We want to start using that. So it's almost like, hey, we're going to start doing this all the time now. So we've hit a little vein in the gold mine of the gold rush, of the AI gold rush.
And that's just a small little thing. I mean, this is just a sliver of the marketing, the stuff that you can do with today in the creative side, and also just in operations, management. It can do anything you need in your business and help that team member. So if you have any C-suites, it can be their assistant and help them in so many different ways.
Yeah.
It's endless right now. There's so much stuff that it's just over my head.
Yeah.
I'm only focused mostly on the creative and marketing.
It's over all of our heads. I don't know who can keep up with everything. So
Nobody can. Nobody can.
No, you can't. It's impossible.
Yeah.
That's
why we're doing what we do, right? That's why we're building community, is because the three of us, like even the three of us, I've learned so much from you guys, and you guys are deep in it. And so I think that's the best way to set yourself up for success, is to surround yourself with the people who are deep in it and using it.
Steel sharpens steel, right?
Heck yeah, baby.
We all got a sharp sword, and it's all good. Yeah, I love what we're doing. Sometimes I think, what I do know is we're going pretty high level, and I think most people aren't there yet. because we're so passionate about it. We're giddy about it. I
Yeah.
think
Man,
this
and
But
is
we're also
Hector,
early
you got high
adopters.
standards too, man. Like, you got high creative standards, which translate to like beautiful human experiences standards. I feel like that's the future.
but what we do is, branding, and Rico's got this whole thing about branding and thought leadership,
Storytelling.
and you've got this brand persona down, and I've got some of the visual on the print side down, and between the three of us, it's like that's why it's kind of like layering, like for this
Yeah.
thing that we just did, we kind of complement each other, the things that we do. So if I can do this with my team, and you're doing tremendous stuff with your team, and you're doing tremendous stuff, Rico, with your team, it's like, dude, between the three of us, holy cow, watch out, audience. Watch out what's next.
Yeah.
Well, and I think
And
what's valuable for the audience is being able, particularly in the world of marketing and leveraging your brand and growing your brand. I think, what we can bring to the table is like just that. It's like this human element of storytelling and really enrolling people in like, man, this is what's possible, and like, come be a part of it.
and we're also showing how things work. I mean, things they're not all sunshine and rainbows, like my man Rocky likes to say. So there's a lot of trial and error. Like you just said, you used Natalie's voice, it didn't work. So we're all figuring this out. This is even the people who developed the AI don't even know what it can do, the capabilities. They created models that are intelligent, that feed off of different nodes and take language at a whole nother level. But how and what it can do, they still don't know. They don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Check it out.
I was going to say, like,
Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, if you look at what Facebook did, they created this platform for people to connect. What they didn't know was digital marketing that took off.
Yeah.
And it was marketers that actually created it. They're like, oh, now we have a community. What if we start infiltrating them with ads and this? And that became a big thing. So even the companies themselves don't know exactly how people are going to use it or leverage it. It takes early adopters to start experimenting and finding the best way to use it.
Yeah.
And that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
So we can help people with that.
The back end of OpenAI is literally called the playground.
Yeah.
You gotta play, baby.
But here's the other thing is, we all have families and lives. We have downtime. We're not working 24/7. We're just fortifying our businesses with this. And like you said, Rico, we're early adopters, and we're not spending all our waking hours doing this, because we have projects and clients and commitments and family things. It's like we've got a lot of commitments, and we got a lot of things on our plate. So this is so special to us that we're willing to dedicate our Saturdays, and a lot of, we have our leadership meetings during the week, and it's like we literally cannot not do this. It's like we're embracing it wholeheartedly.
I was talking to my kids last night. I was with my 11-year-old daughter, and we were looking up something about how ChatGPT 4.5 might have had a leak, and it was just showing like, okay, it was just talking about the capabilities of 4.5, supposedly, are audio, video, and 3D imaging. And I said like, wow. And my daughter was like, wait, what is it, Mom? And I was explaining to her about large language models, which that's what ChatGPT is. And what that means is that it understands words really well, but it doesn't necessarily understand math or audio or video. And I just sat there and I said, babe, you're going to grow up in such a different world than I did. And I want to be here for you. I mean, you guys saw, she is so adorable. My daughter colored this picture while she was at school, and it's this Ai23.
Oh yeah, so cool, right? Adorable.
And she's just like, Natalie, Hector, and Rico, CEOs. and she's so.
How old is she?
She's 11. She's in 5th grade. She's so connected to what we're doing, and it's just like, my gosh, what?
Oh, it's so adorable.
She's connected because you're connected, Natalie. You're all about it.
It's true. Yeah, because we're about it. My daughter, same thing. She's like, oh yeah, the AI thing, the AI. So she's now starting to understand it. I want to give a quick little story before we transition, because I think with what you just said, I think it'll be a great transition to go into the Gemini. But earlier this week, I was listening to NPR, and they brought up, you know how they do recaps of just world news, but real quick to just give you the facts. One of the facts was declining birth rates in South Korea are an all-time low or high, and the government is now having to step in because it's actually really scary. And I was like, okay. And they moved on to the next one. I'm like, but I want to know more. Like, that caught my attention so much because I don't know if you guys have seen the movie Children of Men.
No.
Children of Men is a dystopian future where humans can no longer have babies, and our race is starting to disappear, and it's a dire moment. And if someone gets pregnant, it's like, oh my God, we got to protect this baby because our civilization is about to be wiped out. And it's, I forget the reason now, I don't know if it's pollution or what. It's a really deep, amazing movie. I think it's Clive Owen is the lead, and I think it's Inarritu, one of these amazing directors from Mexico or Latin America, is a director. Freaking amazing. So to me, I was like, whoa, is this really coming true? So what did I do? I used ChatGPT, and I did the audio. I was driving, and I spoke to it, and I asked, what's happening in South Korea with birth rates? And it told me. Then I asked, why is it happening? And it gave me the reasons. I had a 15-minute conversation with ChatGPT just to kind of get deeper into that. I got exposed to the information on NPR. My curious mind wanted to know more. And then there it is, ChatGPT, who I could not call anyone to go get this. I can't phone a friend, and none of my friends are that intelligent.
Or that much up on AI, right?
Or or know that information about South Korea.
Rates, right?
Yeah. About,
night,
hey,
you're like, do you guys want to talk?
Yeah. Hector, you got a minute? I want to talk about declining birth rates in South Korea, bro. Like, what do you
might
know?
actually answer that call and want to talk about it.
Wow.
But ChatGPT can do that.
Well,
that's insane.
I saw an article, and I wish I could remember. It was that ChatGPT and another company were partnering so that you could do exactly what you were saying, like bringing more of like the news into the world of AI so that someone could almost interact with an article. So what
that's how I
already
oh my
doing
God.
is what the people are thinking about.
And have y'all used that feature where on the actual app on your phone, it has that headphone thing, and you can just
talk to it? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You talk to it, and it talks back to you.
Oh yeah,
dude, that has blown me away.
It's nuts. Man. It's next level.
100%.
But I just want to share that because it just made
check this out.
What's happening.
11 months ago, we started using this. Today, it's like so much better than it was then. I can't even imagine what's going to happen in like Q2 of next year. Like, what the heck?
I imagine about it sometimes.
You're right. You're right. I don't know. And a big fear that a lot of people have, it's going to replace me. I don't see that. I think it's going to definitely replace some people. Some jobs are going to be gone. But if you are creative, if you know how to use this thing, then you're going to be needed in the workplace. But it is doing, like, if you think about video and the world that I'm in with commercials and advertising, it's already doing some of the work that would take a crew.
Yes.
Maybe not as good yet, but who's to say in Q2 of next year?
Yeah. It's like, what, 80% there? And that's like when the Mac came out, that was 80%. You know, all the old school typesetters were like, it doesn't know how to, kern letters and put the spacing, and it doesn't know the leading and all this technical stuff with lettering, which people did for decades. And the Mac came out, it was 80% as good as, anybody. And then it just got better and better. Now it's like,
now it can do all of those things and
that was, my career 33 years ago when I learned the Mac. It's going to be like 3.3 years, maybe 3.3 months. I don't know. How fast is it going to get from 80 to 100% and then beyond? Like, our minds are constantly getting blown.
You are a good case study when it comes to this because you went through that evolution or revolution with the Apple computer going into the creative field and going into offices, and it changed the advertising and commercial and marketing space. But guess what? You're still here. You still are needed to do this for clients because you have a certain gift that now you can leverage that with an AI, with a computer.
It's adapting.
And you did that back then.
Yeah,
it's adapting. But obviously, you're still needed.
Yeah. I'm still relevant.
Well, okay.
You're still relevant.
Here's something kind of fascinating. I was doing some research on this a few days ago where I think there's 185 million users on ChatGPT right now. And I mean, there's 7.88 billion people on Earth. So that's only like 1% of Earth is using ChatGPT, whereas like social networks have billions of users. So it's fascinating to me that like we're still in a situation where there's a very, very small percentage of people who are actually using AI, yet for the three of us, it's everywhere. And I feel like it's everything everyone
Yeah.
ever talks about, you know, it's
Everyone's
Oh my God, you're right.
consuming. Everyone's consuming it, and there's not a whole lot of people creating it. Like 0.04% of people are creators.
That's
Everyone else
such
is-
a good point.
Yeah.
You're right. That's why, like, the numbers that you just gave out, those are your producers. Those are the
Yeah.
creators.
Yeah.
Those
Yeah.
are the people. Because if you think about AI isn't entertainment. It isn't passive. AI is something that you use to do something. So you literally have to work towards it,
Yeah.
compared to mindless scrolling on TikTok or Instagram or YouTube, where you just scroll and watch,
Yeah.
scroll and watch.
Yeah,
Very
every time
different.
you
So
use
yeah,
it,
the
you
consumer.
literally are creating something.
And it's all perspective. It's perspective. This idea of what you want to do with AI. It's kind of like, I don't know if you guys ever heard this story about a shoe salesman, and they wanted to send him to Africa where no one had shoes. And he goes, why would I go there? Nobody wears shoes. And then they had another salesman go, hey, this guy doesn't want to go. Do you want to go to Africa? No one has shoes. He goes, yes, everybody needs shoes. So it's like perspective, you know,
Yeah.
does everybody need it? Does everybody want, you know, who can you sell to? Well, guess what? You know, you can't have that mentality of like, there's only little tiny slim percent of content creators. We can't be one because it's just so small. It's so specialized. No, the masses are dying for it. We have so many people just eating it up every day. So I think we're good
I love that
company.
shoe story. That was good.
Yeah.
You got me thinking. I was like, wow.
Okay,
It's
well,
how you see the world.
This is a good transition. So everybody wants it. I think Google's feeling that pressure. Like other companies are trying to step in and say, hey, we need to compete. So let's talk about this Gemini thing.
Crazy,
Yeah, well,
crazy.
I'm going to give
Yeah.
my thing, because I didn't know about the controversy until we actually
Yeah.
spoke, and I brought up like Gemini. I was like, dude, have y'all seen the video? I'm blown away. This thing is amazing. It can do video. It can interact with you. I was already thinking about games to play with it, like Pictionary with my family, where we all are against each other and we have the AI working with us, because the video demo makes it seem like it's instantaneous. It knows what you're doing. But then, unfortunately, Natalie had to burst my bubble.
We were like, wait for it.
Or was it you, Hector? One of you burst my bubble.
I think it was Natalie.
Yeah.
And I knew also. So I went like that after she went like that.
Yeah. Right hook.
Deflated.
Uppercut.
So tell me, share with the audience how you burst my bubble. What is the news? What is the controversy?
Yeah, so plenty of reputable news outlets have confirmed or just kind of expressed that it was misleading what Google put out there for their demo of Gemini. And, you know, there was even a video that I saw where someone replicated everything that Gemini said it could do, but they did it with ChatGPT, and it took time. You know, like there's time in between, so it wasn't necessarily like these are amazing and new and revolutionary. Google just made a really good marketing piece that maybe over exaggerated a bit about what it was capable of.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you know what? This is a really important topic on trust, because as soon as you said that to me, it was instantaneous.
Like
I lost trust. I
deflating.
was like, I'm not even going to play with it. I don't care for it right now. I'm going to continue with ChatGPT. I had so much hope, and it's Google.
Yeah.
Google's
Well, yeah.
top 10 company in the world.
Right.
And I do trust them a lot, but this one kind of stung a little bit, especially since I'm an avid enthusiast when it comes to AI, and I want to see what's new and how you can use it. And then they lied, and there's no reason to lie,
Yeah.
but they did.
Yeah.
And I think that
And
made
they're
me
so
lose a
big
little
that
bit
I
of
feel
trust
like,
with them.
it'll be a little blip. People won't really. I don't think
Because
they'll have much
they're
significant
Google. Yeah.
like,
because they're Google.
what's
Yeah.
gonna
But if you were a
happen?
smaller company, I think that
Yeah.
could be like, oh,
They'd
that's
be
it,
crushed
man.
on day
You're
one,
done.
if you're gonna lie like that. But
I
Google
think when
laughing.
you do that, they're feeling the pressure to perform, and that kind of sucks because who are they feeling the pressure from, right? Their
Shareholder-
competitors, shareholders. I mean, they want to continue to be
I think it's a money thing.
top dog. I mean, is it bragging rights? Is because everybody seems to be in this race at the same time. Everyone wants to be the next big whatever and stay relevant. Nobody wants to be the Blockbuster or the Kodak of this era.
Yep.
So
You're right. And so we're going to see a lot of new companies popping up. There's a lot of money going into them too. Tons of VC
Good.
money is going
Yeah.
to AI companies. So we're going to see a ton of new companies. Not all of them are going to succeed.
yeah,
We already saw
Yeah.
this just a few months ago when ChatGPT released where you can build your own custom GPTs.
Mhm.
How many businesses went under that day?
yeah,
Yeah.
All
oh yeah,
based on
oh yeah,
we're going to
and
use
even-
the API from ChatGPT and
Yeah.
do something that you can only do on our thing. And it's like, no, done.
yeah,
Your business is gone.
yeah,
Yeah. For me, it was more of a distraction. Like, I'm really intentional about my focus and not being distracted right now. And so Gemini was like, I don't even if they hadn't lied, I feel like I'm focused. I want to go deep on ChatGPT. I want to completely understand it. That's just me personally.
but you have substance, and it's just a tool, and you're using these tools to fortify your business. You have that history and that layer of education and that layer of entrepreneurship that no one can take that away. You're just going to
Yeah.
add to it.
Yeah, and I guess the way that I look at AI is like and I might say this wrong, so hear what I'm trying to say.
It looks like you might say it wrong,
It's a
facial expression, but
I look at AI,
yeah,
like AI is AI. So for example, ChatGPT, Rico, we were just talking about this yesterday. ChatGPT is so flexible. You can take it any direction you want, 360 degrees. Then you take a tool like Jasper, which is meant to be a copywriting assistant and a helpful tool, but it's more narrow and it's more rigid and it's not as interactive. And so for me, I feel like it's all artificial intelligence, right? Like it's all meant to try to produce like whatever it is you want from it. But I just love ChatGPT because it is so flexible and it has the ability to just move and be agile. So that's why I personally am like really committed to that tool.
yeah. It's almost, they call it, I heard 2 days ago, I was at my ref meeting, and the keynote speaker called it collective intelligence. That's at the pinnacle, at the crossroads of where human intelligence and artificial intelligence cross. Is collective intelligence. So it's not one isn't going to take over the other. We use it as a tool, and we meet where we meet is going to be collective intelligence. No fear.
That's how I see it. I mean, I'm an enthusiast and I'm also optimistic about AI, but I'm also a realist. I do see good and bad and ugly in everything. You can win the lottery. Wow. Best thing that can happen to your life.
Nope.
And at the same time,
Not
the
the best
worst
thing
thing that can happen to your life.
Statistically,
There's good and bad in everything.
statistically the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But do you see what I'm saying?
course.
I mean,
Yeah.
same thing with this. This tool is amazing.
Yeah.
So is the computer. So social media is good and bad.
Well,
Yeah.
it's like
There's good in it too.
It's like the story of, if you've got two wolves in your mind, one is the good and one is the bad. The wolf that survives is the one that you feed. And so I think all three of us are intentionally feeding the story
Yeah.
that we're, of optimism,
Sure.
of a path forward that is responsible. And the more that we talk about that, the more we do that ourselves, the more that we invite other people into that space, I think that we create more of that. And so, yeah, there's people who are feeding the bad wolf, but there's more of us who are feeding the good wolf. And I think that's why it's so important to get involved and to use it and to be informed and to teach your
Yes.
kids about it.
Yeah.
And be a part of community. I mean, as simple as it can be, you just being part of our community. We're doing research. We're speaking to experts. We will have more experts coming on the show. we're trying to do our best to inform you, give you advice, and be very real. And because we want to build trust.
Yeah.
We're telling you there's good and bad. Everything we're doing has good and bad. We're also showing you behind the curtains by showing what Hector did and how he used Natalie's voice, and then how it turned out. We're showing you that it's not just going to work instantaneously. There's a process that's being built.
Yeah.
And we're all learning.
Yep. Well, it's been an amazing episode today. We're so grateful for everyone who's listened. And if you got value out of this, we'd love for you guys to share it with someone you know who you think would be interested, and rate it 5 stars. So we'll talk to you guys next time.
Yeah.
And stay for the video of Hector with Frank Sinatra.
Oh, yeah. Rock it, Rico.
Our special holiday broadcast on the MBN network features the music of the AI Orchestra, with special guests joining us all the way from 1949, Mr. Frank Sinatra.
Thank you, Hector. And friends, it's a pleasure to be with you on the MBN network. And today's program is especially important to me because it's the very first year in which I was reimagined by my friends at MBN Creative using tools of the future. So without further ado, here's a little take on an old tune in collaboration with the good folks at MBN Creative.
Although the thought of AI is frightful, the truth is much more delightful. And since we've made it flow, let it grow, let it grow, let it grow. And it doesn't show signs of slowing, and the package designs are flowing. AI is now the best in show. Let it grow, let it grow, let it grow.
Happy holidays, everybody. This special holiday broadcast was produced and released by the MBN Network.